From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Monday, October 7th. Sunny skies with winds relatively calm today. We're feeling really good. Feels like fall out this morning in the 50s. Temps are going to get to the mid-70s today.
Credit Karma makes building your credit straightforward and stress-free with help from our credit builder. Sign up today at creditkarma.com and start enhancing your financial health. Credit Karma, your partner in building a brighter financial future. Credit Builder plan is serviced by Credit Karma Credit Builder and requires a line of credit and savings account provided by Cross River Bank, member FDIC.
This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door this Halloween.
Breaking news on the city's near Northside. A fire damages 2 homes and leaves a firefighter with minor injuries just east of MLK Park. Fire crews were called just after 3:45 this morning to a neighborhood on North College Avenue near 20th Street. Crews on scene tell us that both houses appear to be vacant. We're told that the firefighter with minor injuries got hurt while battling the fire. He was taken to a hospital to be checked out, but is okay. So far, it's not clear how the fire started or how much damage there is. There's no word this morning on who shot 2 coaches after a youth football game this weekend. The gunfire stunned onlookers at Cardinal Ritter High School. News 8's Kyla Russell has more.
This is Trayvon Smith, or Coach T. He's the coach of the Indy Firehawks Little League football team. His family says he's fighting for his life after that violent game.
I was really sick, honestly, disappointed. That kids football came to this, out of all things. Because, he doesn't really hang around that type of crowd because he's focused on football, the kids.
That was Trayvon's family outside their home. He asked not to be identified, but say they showed up last night at the high school immediately after he was shot and watched as he was loaded into an ambulance and rushed to the hospital for emergency surgery. He stabilized after and then came Sunday morning.
Now he's having back-to-back surgeries, so worried about him.
Worried about him too. His 11-year-old players did exactly what he'd want them to. Put the ball back in play and hosted a pre-planned give-back day on the very fields they practice on.
He's been there for the past 3 years. We've done so much that is on the field as well as off of the field. My son really has taken a passion for football, and Coach Smith has actually been the leader of that.
His fellow coaches say he's the glue to their team.
It's 5 of us. We call ourselves the Fat Five. It's my brother, so a lot of business, a lot of traveling, a lot of behind-the-scene meetings, so he means a lot.
JaVale was there on Saturday when the violence erupted. The night started with a Firehawks win, and the opposing team's sideline became angry.
They tried to attack one of our coaches, multiple of them.
Witnesses say a parent got a gun out of a car and shot it, wounding the losing coach and Coach T. One coach was critical on the way to the hospital. The other was stable.
Unfortunately, one of our coaches did get shot. One of theirs did.
Unlike a typical game, there was no security personnel, leaving kids in dangerous positions. And for any kid that did witness the violence, the Firehawk coaches say they'll offer up their support.
Come on, man, we need you back on this field. Our boys need you. They just want to know that he's okay.
The kids will lose access to playing on Cardinal Ritter's fields. The school released a statement revoking the privilege and saying nobody from Ritter was involved. Police say they have not made any arrests in the shooting and they don't have a person of interest. I'm Kyla Russell for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
In your Vote 2024, today is the last day you can register to vote in the November 5th election. You can register online until midnight. If you prefer to register in person, you have until 4:30 this afternoon to do so at your county's voter registration office or at any BMV branch. If you plan to vote by mail, make sure your registration is postmarked by today. We have more information on how to register and find registration locations near you. Just go to wishtv.com and find the story in the As Seen on section. In Marion County, the election board says the voting machines have been tested and are ready to be used when early voting starts tomorrow. The board says every mock ballot was counted properly in the testing. The Marion County clerk says this is a typical standard procedures, but also very important.
If there is a problem, we know ahead of time before the election. We don't anticipate that, but that's what the test is for. Each and every machine that we have is going to work.
The election board says it still needs around 100,000 additional poll workers before the November 5th election. Happening tonight in Indianapolis, the City County Council is scheduled to vote on the budget for the next fiscal year. The budget proposal totals $1.65 billion. Public safety is a focus. The budget includes money for more than 1,700 police officers, even though IMPD is currently short of that number. The budget would also give $4.5 million to the gun violence reduction plan. There's also additional funding for homelessness prevention and infrastructure spending. The vote on the budget is set for tonight's meeting at the City County building at 7 o'clock. Milton is now a Category 3 hurricane. Florida has begun what could be its largest evacuation effort in 7 years. State emergency officials are urging people who live there to flee as yet another hurricane bears down. The ground there is already saturated from Helene. As Amy Kiley reports, Hurricane Milton is now expected to hit Florida in just 2 days.
I have the state emergency response team preparing for the largest evacuation that we have seen, most likely since 2017 Hurricane Irma.
Floridians are bracing for the second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks. Forecasters predict Milton will make landfall Wednesday and then plow across most of the state. Officials are issuing both mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders for at-risk areas.
I urge Floridians to finalize your storm preparations now. Enact your plan. I highly encourage you to evacuate.
The National Hurricane Center warns flooding could threaten millions of residents. Some are preparing with sandbags.
We got kind of damaged Hurricane Ian, so just make sure that we get a little bit more precautious, making sure all the sandbags are at our doorstep garage.
I think we're just going to put sandbags in our back porch. We're going to get like groceries later and stuff in case it's really bad.
Milton's timing could be dangerous. In some areas, the ground is already saturated from Hurricane Helene, and cleanup from that storm continues.
One of the things that we did was make sure that all disaster debris management sites that were impacted by Hurricane Helene, that they remain open 24/7 for drop-off.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Today marks 1 year since the Hamas attack on Israel. This morning, people gathered at the site of the music festival where the worst of the terrorist attack happened. Also overnight, thousands of people marched toward the home of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, demanding he do more to secure the release of the remaining Israeli hostages. The attack sparked the ongoing war in Gaza. The Palestinian Ministry of Health says Israeli attacks over the past year have killed more than 41,000 people in Gaza, mostly women and children. And the war has displaced nearly the entire Gaza population and led to more violence in the Middle East. Here in Indiana, Governor Eric Holcomb will give the keynote address to the Indianapolis Jewish Community Relations Council to commemorate the day. The event starts at 7 o'clock at the Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation on North Meridian Street. In Colts Watch, team came close but could not break the decade-long losing streak in Jacksonville. Colts had tied the game late in the fourth quarter, but with 21 seconds left, Jaguars kicker nailed a 49-yard field goal to give the team the lead. Jacksonville held on for a 37-34 win. The Colts haven't picked up a road win over the Jags since 2014. The Colts did come close despite missing several starters, including quarterback Anthony Richardson and running back Jonathan Taylor. Our Andrew Chernoff spoke to the players and the head coach after the game.
The curse here in Jacksonville continues as the Indianapolis Colts fall once again here inside Everbank Stadium. In fact, Indy still has not won here since 2014. There was some positives, though, to take away from this result. The biggest, probably, time of possession. For the first time all season, the Colts had the ball for the majority of the game. The problem, though, the explosive plays by the Jacksonville Jaguars as they finished with nearly 500 yards of offense.
We got to continue drives, and it starts with myself to get that thing going. We can't wait until the fourth quarter to start hitting those things, and That starts with me. All the guys, they work their tails off every week. I mean, this is the National Football League. This stuff ain't easy. And our guys battle and fight and scratch and claw. And we just got to find ways at the end. And obviously this was a tough one today.
There was a couple times where we did get down in the red zone, or maybe once or twice, where if we get touchdowns, maybe it changes the game a little bit. Those are probably the things I'm going to look at more so than some of those 3 and outs that we had. Is like, could we have scored a touchdown here and made a difference in the game?
I mean, tackling was atrocious today. We made that boy look like something I don't necessarily believe he is, but he did it. So it is what it is. We didn't do our best today. So again, we got to get back to it and play sound football.
It's upsetting, that we couldn't get the job done. Fell a little short, but the guys in this room, we're resilient, and we got a lot of fight in us. So we just got to find a way to make those plays at the end and come out with a win.
Once again, all eyes will be on the injury report heading into next Sunday's game. Will Anthony Richardson play? Will Jonathan Taylor play? Kenny Moore? Still to be determined. One thing that the guys did take away, though, from their performance on Sunday here inside Everbank Stadium, they can compete even when they're shorthanded. In Jacksonville, Andrew Chernoff, Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
IU football's historic start to its season leads to a historic ranking. The Hoosiers are tied for 18th in the AP's latest Top 25 poll, and IU is the first school in the country to be eligible for a bowl game. Their ranking is the highest for IU football in a non-COVID season since 1993. Hoosiers' win over Northwestern on Saturday puts Indiana at 6-0 in the season, first time in 57 years, and only the second time in the program's history. Indiana is now on a bye week, but will take on Nebraska at home on October 19th. We're just one day away from the Pacers hitting the court. Their first preseason game is tomorrow in Atlanta against the Hawks. But before the team gets down to business, they took some time to have fun at the Fan Jam at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Pacers started with a scrimmage that ended with the event with a rookie talent show. Pascal Siakam served as the team's photographer as Enrique Freeman and Johnny Furphy hit the court in costumes and sang and then competed in a dance battle. Pacers veteran Miles Turner shared his method for picking out the rookies' costumes.
Try to go off personality. When I'm picking out the outfits, I figured I seen Joel, he worked out a lot, giving the Popeye, it's just little stuff like that. I just had something to get the fans going and just have a little fun, a little lighthearted.
Pacers tip off in the regular season on October 23rd in Detroit. You can keep up with the Pacers all season long with Wish TV's All Indiana Sports app. You can go to wishtv.com or go to your app store and download it for free. The star of Speed felt the need for it at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway over the weekend. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Driving cars.
Keanu Reeves hits the track. The actor and musician put the pedal to the metal at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in a racing series for amateur drivers and aspiring racers. Reeves is a long-time racing enthusiast. In 2009, he won the Long Beach Toyota Grand Prix celebrity racing event. Glenn Powell is following in Arnold Schwarzenegger's footsteps. The Twisters and Anyone But You star is set for a remake of 1987's The Running Man. Edgar Wright, the man behind Shaun of the Dead and Baby Driver, is on board to direct. The Running Man is due in theaters November 21st, 2025. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Riley Hospital for Children turns 100 years old today. Hospital leaders and Indiana elected officials plan to speak and reflect on the past 100 years at a ceremony this afternoon. Staff and patients started celebrating early on Friday. Riley kids went to the milestone party and got gift bags and mini hospital puzzles. The hospital opened on October 7th in 1924 and was named after the famed Indiana poet James Whitcomb Riley. The hospital says it cares for 215,000 children every year. Today's celebration starts at 3:15. Homecoming weekend at Butler University goes to the Dogs. More than 100 Bulldogs took over tailgating before Butler's homecoming football game for the 23rd Butler Bulldog Beauty Contest. The Dogs competed in categories like beautiful, best costume, and congeniality. The crown for the best in show went to a Bulldog named Gus. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook for updates.
Achieving a gorgeous grin from home isn't a total mystery with Bite Clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all of your sleuthing friends start asking, "What's your secret?" Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Bite Clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Whether you're scouring business financial sites or listening to economics podcasts like this one till your ears ring, you'll find there's no surefire secret to successfully managing your company's finances for the future. It turns out you might just need to pair with PNC Corporate and Institutional Banking, whose team of dedicated relationship managers bring 160 years of experience, pragmatic advice, and an array of tools and tech to scale to any size business. In fact, they're so tuned in to what you need, they knew you'd be listening to this podcast. As for that ringing in your ears, that's the brilliant sound of success. PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC and PNC Bank are registered marks of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., PNC. Copyright 2024, the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.